The Great Gold Robbery was a robbery that took place in England in 1855 and created a social discourse. It was the largest heist in history up to that point, involving the theft of a large amount of gold from a moving train. This incident, which attracted public attention due to the daring nature of its execution, has since become a remarkable event in the history of crime.
William Pierce acted as John Sims, a lavish entertainer who frequented London's wealthy elite. After a short stint as an employee of the South Eastern Railway, he was sacked on charges of fraud and made money by running robberies, gambling, and threats. Due to the respect and patronage of high society, he always acted with a sense of security and was friendly with railway workers in bars and restaurants. In 1854, on the basis of a tip from a bank manager he met at a party, he learned the details of several kilos of gold worth thousands of pounds being transported weekly from London to Paris by train, and decided to kidnap that money. In that era, when only 25 years had passed since the formal start of steam train services in the world, it was considered as the safest means of transportation, but since formal security methods were not followed as they are today, a well-planned robber could easily break those methods. Pierce, a former railway worker, understood this very well. Robert Agar was a young man who was closely associated with, supported and carried out the orders of Britain's most notorious criminals. Betrothed to a girl named Fanny Kay, he wanted to spend money on her, so he used his intelligence and wisdom to participate in any activity and hoped to earn money. In March 1854, Pierce called Agar to him and revealed his plan to him over beer in a dark restaurant. After that, Pierce and Agar came together to plan the robbery. For this purpose, Pierce decided to contact James Burgess, a railway controller, and William Tester, a high-ranking officer of the track department that employs railway controllers, and in the next meeting near the South Eastern railway station, they were also contacted and the plan was successfully prepared. Thereafter, Pierce and Agar, as first-class passengers, took several train journeys from London to Folkestone on the respective night trains, and carefully studied the process of unloading the relevant safes. Thus, cash and gold stocks are taken to British trading companies doing business in France for their operational needs. In the wooden boxes provided by the railway company, the bags related to their company are placed, the company logo is marked on them and secured, and at the destination they are inspected and accepted, shipped and sent to the bank of the respective company through the designated agent in France. Often the sealed boxes were opened in the shipping company's warehouse in France. It was a few days after it was delivered from London. A wooden box called railway safes with 2 locks was used to transport the gold. Agar, who managed to get the keys from the chief officer of the port company, was ready to make wax molds of them and use them to make keys for himself. In the plan, Agar also seduced the chief officer of the company that carries out the related operations of the port, and also gained an understanding of how the safe keys of the safes were taken from London by the normal route and held. As soon as the keys were set, Pierce decided to carry out the robbery a week before the planned date, and quickly had William Tester registered James Burgess as the train's chief conductor for the day in question. William Tester's role ended after the recording. The train was scheduled to leave London at 8:30 p.m. on the appointed day, and James Burgess took over the train a few hours before. Along with 2 suitcases containing about 100 kilograms of lead balls, Agar entered the runway through a secret door and hid in the control room. At a London railway station, wooden boxes containing cash and gold were loaded into the control room under the watchful eye of security guards. Normally the luxury first-class cabin was attached next to the guard's cabin, and so it was that day. Pierce, who normally got a first-class ticket, boarded the train as a normal passenger in that compartment. On that fateful day, the train started its journey at 8:30 p.m. without any delay and was scheduled to reach Folkestone around 11 p.m. After the train started, the chief controller allowed Pierce to enter the guard's compartment. Then the operation started. While hundreds of passengers slept soundly, James Burgess forgot about the safety of the train and provided protection to the robbers. James Burgess assisted in this robbery by meeting his colleagues at the intermediate station, signing on as chief guard, and assuring them that the train was safe. The safes were opened, the gold was taken out, and agar were brought to maintain the weight of the safes, and lead balls were stored in the safes and relocked. Pierce and Agar packed their baggage, gold and money before Folkestone, boarded the train as ordinary passengers, went out of Dover station, the destination, ate, destroyed their evidence, and returned to London by the morning train. After arriving in London, the amount of looted money and gold was counted, and the value exceeded £12,000, which is an amount of $470,000 in 2023. The money remained in Pierce's custody, and the pledges of Agar and other members were duly paid in London. About 7 days had passed since the robbery when the safes containing the leaden balls, which had gone to Paris by way of the English Oud, were opened, and that time had given the criminals enough time to silence the evidence and hide. Together, Robert Agar and William Pierce made money by smelting gold and occasionally selling it, which was time-consuming, and the relationship with Fanny Kay was distant. Meanwhile, in September 1855, he was caught in another fraud and imprisoned. At that time, the British government decided to deport lifers to Australia, and Fanny Kay wanted to prevent Robert Agar from being released. Also, at the time of Robert Agar's incarceration, she revealed the details of the train robbery to the prison authorities because of William Pierce's failure to provide her with money as requested by him. Robert Agar eventually became a government witness, and in court proceedings from December 1956 to August 1958, the railway officials were sentenced to 14 years in prison, while William Pierce was sentenced to 2 years. James Burgess and William Tester were occasionally deported to Australia, and after the punishment in 1869, James Burgess came to Sri Lanka and started business there.